Hello and welcome. I'm Sarah Addington, and this is a short sequence to work on some leg strengthening and toning. And for this practice, you can do it without any additional equipment, or you can add some light hand weights. And if you don't have any weights, you can also use soup cans as weights. So get into something comfortable and we'll get started. We're going to begin coming into child's pose. So we'll come to hands and knees, take the knees out wide, toes to touch, and then sink the hips to the heels into child's pose. And reach the arms forward, let the heart melt, let the forehead melt down. Take a few breaths here. Really feeling the low back begin to widen, the shoulder blades widen and drop down, tuning into the breath. And then begin to take the hands over to the right. And then sink a little bit more into that left hip, feeling that stretch all along the left side. From the hip all the way up to the fingertips. Couple of breaths. And walk the hands to center. And take them over to the left. Pressing down through the hands, pressing down through that right hip. Noticing what you're feeling along the right side of the body, stretching into this right side. And a couple more breaths on this side. And walk the hands back to center. Press up, back to all fours. Line the knees back under the hips, shoulders over wrists. Come into a little cat-cow flow. So as you inhale, let the belly drop down, tilt down towards the knees. Pull the shoulder blades together. As you exhale, round through the spine, widening this through the shoulder blades, tucking the chin. A few more times here. Inhale, draw the shoulder blades together. Exhale, press them apart. Inhale, shoulder blades pull together like you could pinch a pencil back there. Exhale, press them away. Press down through the tops of the feet, the hands. Make your way back to center. Find that long, flat back, really lengthening through the back of the neck. And then lift up through the right knee with the knee bent. We're going to do some little pulses here on this side. And if you want to add a little something to this, you can take one of your weights in the crook of the knee and add a little weight as you lift and lower. Just a few more repetitions on this side. Continuing to breathe and pressing equally into both hands. Feeling the shoulder blades still widening left to right. Send them out to the side so that we're not sinking down into the shoulders. Press up out of the shoulders. And then lower through that foot. And then we'll switch to the other side. If you're using the weight, we'll tuck it into this space behind the knee. And then lift up through the left. Let's start your pulses on this side. Really working to have this movement come from the back of that thigh, the hamstring, strengthening through our often neglected hamstrings. And this can really help in a lot of ways with low back pain. The hamstrings are stronger. It helps you to be able to pick things up as you bend over and pick things up a little bit more easily. And so we'll continue to really press down through all 10 fingertips. All 10 knuckles to lift up out of the shoulders, hugging up through the belly. And then bringing this knee down and removing your weight. And we'll walk the hands up to come into kneeling. And then take the right foot out to the side. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, side bend over that right leg. Inhale, reach back up. Exhale, take it down to the left hand. Plant that left hand, reach up through the right hand. And then we're going to draw the hand up over the ear and pull in a few times, knee to elbow. One more time. And then reach that right hand back up. And take the toe pointing down, heel lifted, and begin to lift and lower. Hugging the navel to the spine. 4 more here. And then press back up into our little mini mountain. And we'll switch to the other side. Take the left foot out long into our gate pose. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, side bend over the left. Inhale to lift up. Exhale to plant that hand down. Reach up through the left hand and then take it up and overhead. And then we'll do our knee pulls on this side, knee to elbow. And then reach that left hand up. Dial the toes down, heel lifting up. So we're really getting into this side, along the outside of this leg. And then we'll lift here. Keeping the navel hugging up and in. 4 more. And then press all the way back up. Come back to kneeling. I'm back to face the short edge of the mat here. Down to tabletop. Tuck the toes. Lift the hips high and back. Downward facing dog. And we'll take a moment here in our down dog, pedaling out through the feet and really press one heel down, feeling into the back of that leg. And then press the other heel down and hold. And feel into the back of this leg. And then coming back to center and really lifting up through the sit bones, melt the heart towards the knees. And then shifting forward into plank. Pausing here for a moment to really lift up, widen through the shoulder blades. Exhale, slowly lower down to the belly. Hug the elbows into the side. One straight line. Lift the head, shoulders, cobra. Slide the shoulder blades down and back. Exhale, tuck the toes, take a breath. Use your exhale to press up through all fours or straight to plank, and then downward facing dog. A breath here to reset, recalibrate. And then walk the feet up to meet the hands. Walk, step, or jump into forward fold. We'll take a moment here, sway a little side to side, grasping opposite elbows, or interlacing the hands behind the head. And slowly roll it on up. Coming into mountain pose, roll the shoulders up and back a few times. Take any little movements here that you might need, a little shake out, a little shimmy shake. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold all the way back down. And if you're going to use the weights, perhaps for the next one, we'll grab a weight while we're down here. And then inhale, we'll come up, bring the weight to the chest, and then lift. We're going to come into some reverse lunges. So we'll take the weight into the right hand and inhale, get tall, get long. Exhale, step the right foot back into a little reverse lunge, knee coming down to hover. And then inhale back up. Exhale down, bringing the weight down, knee hovers, inhale up. And we'll keep it going here. Exhale down, inhale up. Exhale down, inhale up. A few more times on this side. I'm working to keep that left hip lined back a little bit here. Ears over the shoulders. When you come down, that's the left knee over the ankle. Now we'll come back up to center. And exhale, we'll forward fold, bring the weight back down, set it aside. And then from here, we'll step the feet out wide, coming into a wide-legged forward fold. Let the head hang. Take the weight into the toes and then into the heels. Feeling as you do so, as the stretch changes a little bit through the backs of the legs. And then dialing the heels in, bending the knees, and then inhale, reach up. Coming into our goddess squat. We'll go through a little flow here. Inhale, press into the heels, lift up. Exhale, bend the knees, bend the elbows. Our goddess flow. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, take it back down, and then hold here. And from here, we'll come back to our forward fold and then straighten through the knees. Grab your weights here. You're going to use them again. And then we're going to come into the side, bending into the right knee, and taking your weight, hanging onto it here with both hands for this one. And then we're going to take side to side lunges here, holding on one side and then take it to the other. And as we side to side here, we're going to really draw the navel to the spine and work to keep the back really flat at about a 45-degree angle. Your gaze out, keeping the ears in line over the shoulders. We'll let the shoulder blades just kind of glide down the back. Pressing into the heel as we glide side to side in our lateral squats. A few more times here. Two more. And then from here, we'll straighten up through the knees. And if you don't have a weight, you can inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Place the weight back down. And we'll heel toe the feet back together. Back to forward fold. And we'll turn to face the short edge of the mat again. Grab the weight. Again, we're going to come into our reverse lunges on the other side. So as you inhale, bring the weight to the chest first and then lift. We'll take the weight into the left hand this time and we'll take the left foot back. So inhale, get tall, get long through the spine. And exhale, we'll take it back into our reverse lunge. Nice big step back and up. And again, we're going to work to keep that knee nice and lined up over the ankle. So we'll take a big step back into our lunge. A few more times on this side. Working to keep the hips square to the front. Two more. And then inhale, you can lift if you feel like lifting with the weight as well. And exhale, weight to heart, and then all the way back down. Forward fold, sway it out a little. Feeling the low back widening left to right. Shoulders drop, head drops. And slowly roll it up, really hugging up through the belly. You rise, roll the shoulders up and down. And then we're going to find that mountain pose again. So root down through the feet and then use that to lift up through the crown of the head. Ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips. And we come into some calf raises. So we're going to lift the heels and lower. I'm going to go through this a few times. I'm going to keep it going, and you can add weights to this one as well. So keep going, or reach down, bring your weight to the heart first, and add a little weight to the front as you lift and lower. And again, we want to keep the belly button hugging back to the spine, draw it in and up. Strengthening through the calves, ankles, feet and toes, our foundation. We'll keep going here a few more times. And last one. And then slowly lower all the way back down. Bring your weight back down. Back to our forward fold. A little sway side to side. And then plant the palms, step one foot back, step the other foot back into plank pose. And then we'll bring the forearms down to where the hands are. You can come to the knees to do that first. Bring the elbows down, elbows under shoulders, and then lift the knees back up here, forearm side plank. Well, forearm plank, and then we'll roll over to the side. First, we'll take a little forearm side plank, and then we'll come down to this left hip and slide this arm forward, left hand forward. We'll keep the left knee bent, reaching up through the right hand. And the right foot out long. And we're going to keep this right arm lifted or bring it to the waist and lift up out of this left shoulder. And again, as we lift up through this right foot, we'll do some lifts here out in front. And we're going to lift from the heel, taking the toe to point down or to the front. We'll do some lifts here. A few more times on this side. Two more. And then we're going to come back to the forearms. And we'll switch. So to come to the other side, we'll start in our forearm plank. Curl the toes under, lift up through the knees, lift up through the belly, hold here for a breath, and then roll onto the right side, lift up through the left hand. Pause here for a moment, our forearm side plank, and then we'll lower the right hip, slide that hand forward, and bend through the right knee. And you can leave this left hand lifted or bring it to the hip. Take the left foot out. And then we'll lift and lower on this side, dialing those toes down and lifting up through the heel. So you can feel it all along the outside of this leg. And so we'll keep this flowing, keeping this shoulder lifted. So we're lifting up out of the shoulder, really pressing down into the elbow to lift up out of the shoulder. A few more times on this side. Two more. All right, then we'll roll back onto all fours. Take the knees out wide, toes to touch, and we'll sink the hips to the heels back into child's pose. A couple of breaths here. One more full breath all the way down into the belly. And then press back up. Bring the knees back in. And make your way to seated in whatever way is comfortable for you. I'm going to come down, bending the knees, reach forward, and then slowly lower all the way down onto the back. in, let the hands come down, the head come down. We'll slide the knees up, heels up to the glutes. And coming into our reclined figure four, right ankle crosses to the front of the left knee. Interlace the hands behind the left thigh and draw the knees in. I'll take a few breaths on this side. Letting the jaw be soft and the shoulders soften. The low back widening. Breathing into this hip, tucking the chin a little bit, lengthening through the back of the neck. A couple more breaths. Elongating through your exhale, lengthening the breathing, slowing it down now. And then bring both feet down, unwind, take a little rotating, rock the knees a little side to side, rotate through the wrists, the fingers. And then we'll shift to the other side. Left ankle crosses over the right knee, interlace behind the right thigh, and draw the knees in. A few breaths on this side. Breathing all the way down into the belly and lengthening your breath. If you need a little bit more, you can press that elbow into the knee or grasp on top of the knee, the right knee here in this case. And take a few more breaths. Breathing into this side, observing if anything feels a little bit different on this side. Maybe you're noticing a little bit different intensity of the stretch or in a little bit different place. And just being with that, feeling what you notice there. Couple more breaths. And bring both feet down. And tick-tock through the knees a little, side to side. And coming back to center, shift the hips left. Let the knees fall right. Take the arms out wide to a T. Just a couple of breaths here. Letting that left shoulder drop and be heavy. Extending through the left side body. Draw the knees to center, lift the hips, realign through the spine. Then shift the hips right, let the knees fall left. A couple breaths on this side. Letting the shoulders sink. Elongating through this right side. One more full breath here. Draw the knees back to center. Lift the hips. Reset. And take any little last movements here that you might need. And then we'll take the feet out long. The feet flap open, the hands flap open. We'll take a couple of breaths in our resting pose, Shavasana today. Allowing the whole body to feel weighted and heavy, sinking into the mat. And bring your attention to the breath. Observing as the navel rises and falls. Ride the wave of your breath like a raft in the ocean. Slowly begin to wiggle through the feet, the hands. And draw the knees up. Roll over onto one side. Take a breath here. Taking in this unity of the breath and the body and the mind. That anchor, so that you may take that with you throughout the rest of your day. As you're ready, press yourself up to seated. And take a moment here and notice how you feel.